Destruction, a veteran peak god king, had reached the 9-star Dozong level. Even so, he could not withstand a single strike from Lin Xiao's fire lotus. He could only mutter with a mix of pity and disgust, "Xiaoling, oh Xiaoling, you asked for this." If Lin Xiao had truly been vicious, destruction would never have allied with him. But after hearing the truth from Dai Mubai and Xiao Wu, destruction's opinion of Xiaoling collapsed. Even as a god, Xiaoling's deeds were petty, underhanded, and shameful, a disgrace to the gods. Destruction couldn't fathom what sea god and Asura had been thinking to tolerate him. The man's character made him sick. Above the divine realm, the two of them showed themselves openly. Lin Xiao steadily fused flames, using the burning technique without concern. Destruction displayed his power too, but next to the aura of Lin Xiao's forging flame, he felt insignificant. Their combined presence soon drew the attention of the divine realm. Neither made any attempt to hide. It was as if they wanted everyone to know. Li Yan and Ji Dong were the first to arrive, intercepting them. "God King Destruction, do you intend to destroy the entire divine realm?" they demanded. Destruction produced a ball of light and hurled memories at the two kingly figures. "Idiots who can't tell right from wrong. Watch this, then we'll fight." Li Yan and Ji Dong glanced at each other and absorbed the memories. At first, they were skeptical, but as the scenes unfolded, their expressions changed to shock. Could Xiaoling really have done those things? In their minds, Xiaoling had always been a pure, noble god who prized true love. These memories were incontrovertible. Before they had time to react, destruction sneered at them. "You're being played by Xiaoling and even helping him count his money. You'll end up the same way if you keep believing him." He leveled his scepter at them. Li Yan and Ji Dong were younger god kings. Even together, they were not a match for a veteran like Destruction. Lin Xiao continued to gather power, his flames coalescing into something formidable. Li Yan and Ji Dong drew their divine artifacts anyway. "Destruction, leave the facts aside. If it comes to a fight, we'll fight," one of them said. "Facts aside?" Destruction snorted. "You truly are fools. With you two around, this divine realm will be finished sooner or later." Destruction had already decided that once this was settled, he would leave with Lin Xiao. This broken, compromised divine realm had no future. The truth was standing right in front of them, yet these supposed leaders still couldn't distinguish right from wrong. "Lin Xiao," Destruction said, "Xiaoling's temple is right there. Go." Lin Xiao only shrugged. At worst, he could free Guyuana. Who could stop her if not a god king? Rong Nianbing would stay out of it. He had the sense to avoid such chaos. The commotion drew Xiaoling out. The instant he saw Lin Xiao forging flames, he panicked and fled. "Little bastard, you running from your daddy?" Lin Xiao called and pursued. Xiaoling had felt Lin Xiao's strength change since the lower realm. He was terrified of this Lin Xiao. If he stayed, he was dead. If he escaped the divine realm, the universe was vast. He could hide in a small world and rebuild. He still had plans. But his plan failed. The divine realm was sealed again, this time by God King Life. Returning to the God Realm central hub, God King Life had sealed the divine realm so no one could leave. At the border, Xiaoling froze. He couldn't get out. "Damn it! Who sealed the divine realm?" he screamed. Lin Xiao walked up behind him with a smile. "Little bastard, give me back my 5 gold soul coins." Xiaoling stared, dumbfounded. "Gold? Gold coins? You want gold coins?" "Yes, you want gold coins?" Lin Xiao repeated coldly. "You dog. If you hadn't destroyed Spirit Hall back then, I wouldn't have had to sell my family assets to undergo Spirit Awakening." Xiaoling spat. "You dog, go to hell." Lin Xiao's flame had finished fusing. The fire lotus leapt from his hand. Xiaoling's face went white with terror as he stumbled backward, pounding on the barrier with all his might. Escape was his last hope. He begged, he knelt, kowtowed until his forehead hit the ground. Spare me, I'll recognize you as the master of this divine realm." "Spare me," he pleaded. Lin Xiao laughed. "You want me to be merciful? If you've got the ability, then give me my 5 gold soul coins. Otherwise," the fire lotus struck. Under Xiaoling's pleading and terror, it devoured his life and utterly annihilated him at the barrier. Not only was his body destroyed, but his soul dissipated, completely gone. The fire lotus's shockwave tore a deep pit where the barrier had been. Emerald light flowed from the God Realm central hub to the barrier and began to mend it. The divine realm's shield was slowly repairing. Lin Xiao stood where the pit smoked and sighed. Maybe I was a little too lenient, he muttered. The flames he wielded were especially destructive to souls. He had expected Xiaoling's soul to be weak, but not to vanish so utterly. Still, the matter was resolved. Word of the blast brought Li Yan and the others to the scene. Xiaoling was dead, beyond dead. Destruction snorted in approval. He had it coming. Kid Lin, come to my temple, Destruction said. Lin Xiao followed him. He had anticipated a large battle with the divine realm, but meeting Destruction had changed the course entirely. Once inside Destruction's temple, Lin Xiao spoke without preamble. Destruction, I need the Gold Dragon King. Chapter 240, Just Go Rob It. Xiaoling's death sent shockwaves through the divine realm. A young man who had never appeared there before had come out of nowhere and, by his own power, annihilated Xiaoling, leaving no trace of a soul behind. Xiaoling was gone, utterly dead. Li Yan and Ji Dong were still reeling, and when Destruction spoke, they were left speechless. Anyone capable of wiping out Xiaoling could certainly tear them apart just as easily. They had been on good terms with Xiaoling, but they were not fools. He was dead. What practical use was that friendship now? The two retreated to their respective divine palaces to think things over and consider how to approach Destruction later. With one Xiaoling dead and one superpowered young man added to the balance, the divine realm would have to adapt. Inside the Destruction Divine Palace, Lin Xiao proposed his plan. He wanted the Golden Dragon King. Yes, the Golden Dragon King. If given to Gu Yuena, her strength would climb even higher through fusion, and Lin Xiao didn't intend to let such an asset slip away. If the Golden Dragon King were a natural treasure, Lin Xiao might covet it outright, but it wasn't. He was a dragon. At Lin Xiao's current position, the most useful recipients were Gu Yuena and Linger. Linger, though, would likely refuse. But Lin Xiao had broader ambitions. He wanted to refine the Golden Dragon King so that its bloodline would be returned to the Silver Dragon King, and the remaining energy would belong to him. Golden Dragon King? Why? Destruction asked. The Golden Dragon King is effectively a major threat to the divine realm, Lin Xiao said. If we release him, we'll be in trouble. But if he's in our hands, it would be difficult for only a few of us to handle him, Destruction said, sizing Lin Xiao up. If Lin Xiao intended to act, he'd likely manage the Golden Dragon King, Lin Xiao smiled. If I attack him to kill him outright, that would defeat my purpose. I want the Silver Dragon King to absorb the Golden Dragon King's bloodline. That will advance her bloodline significantly. Lin Xiao didn't try to hide anything. Destruction paused. Is this the Silver Dragon King who escaped the divine realm after the dragon god split into two? Lin Xiao nodded. Yes, the Silver Dragon King is also in my world now. The divine realm being human-dominated isn't necessarily wrong, but for the realm's development, there will be restrictions. 100 flowers blooming is the right path. Destruction asked, Aren't you afraid of the Soul Beast clan's retaliation? Heh, Lin Xiao said lightly. If strength is supreme, everything else is illusion. But ultimately, aren't you afraid because you're too weak? Destruction shot back. The remark hung in the air. If they could suppress the Golden Dragon King, why fear spirit beasts becoming gods? In truth, what frightened them most had always been the specter of another dragon god even more powerful than the one they knew. If a human stronger than the dragon god appeared, would the threat of a spirit beast uprising still be their greatest concern? Lin Xiao's power was clear. That Fire Lotus move even Destruction couldn't withstand. With such strength, what was there to fear from the Silver Dragon King? Besides, the Silver Dragon King, Gu Yuena is my person, Lin Xiao added. Destruction gave a wry, helpless smile. You're not worried about them rebelling? They're already yours. In that case, handing the Golden Dragon King over to you is fine, Destruction said at last. But the Golden Dragon King is currently sealed. How will you make him be absorbed? Destruction looked genuinely puzzled. Lin Xiao's answer was simple. What's so difficult about that? He would draw the Golden Dragon King into the undead world, use the world's power to refine him, return the bloodline to the Silver Dragon King, and keep the remainder for himself. The energy body left over would match a dozong in value, something Lin Xiao didn't want to miss. It's good you have a method. About the world, you mentioned earlier. Destruction paused. After you handle the affairs of the divine realm, Life and I are thinking of going with you. Lin Xiao blinked. Not long ago they'd urged him to join the divine realm. Now they wanted to join his world instead? Destruction went on, explaining, I see no future for the divine realm anymore. I have ambitions, goals. I want to expand, but Xiaoling and the others are stubborn. Lin Xiao countered. With Xiaoling dead, you're now the top combat power. Isn't this the perfect chance to show your strength? Destruction waved it off. After seeing a different horizon, do you think I still want to stay here? Follow you, and I could surpass the dragon god and even have my own offspring. Why would I give up such an opportunity? Let them have this broken divine realm. Their stubbornness suits it. Lin Xiao laughed. He knew Destruction's nature. Conquest was his pleasure. I want to merge the divine realm into my undead world, he told him. Destruction shook his head. I don't know how strong your world truly is, but its prospects are not weak. Right now, the divine realm ranks among the top in this universe. If you merge now, who will be primary and who secondary? The best approach would be to siphon off the divine realm's resources and only merge once your world is stronger. Lin Xiao thought it through and agreed. The undead world was presently inferior. A forced merger risked subordination. He let the idea rest for now. They arrived at the seal where the Golden Dragon King was held, and Lin Xiao began to draw that treasure into his world. His strength had grown immensely. He succeeded with ease. Lin Xiao brought Destruction and Life, the two god kings, into the undead world, and then summoned Yao Lao and the others to make introductions. Destruction found the Douchi cultivation system fascinating and decided on the spot to switch to Douchi training. He and Life liked the idea of having offspring and were eager to try. The Silver Dragon King, however, was displeased with the two. She still remembered the dragon god's past battles. Using the power of his world, Lin Xiao refined the Golden Dragon King, extracted its bloodline, and gave it to the Silver Dragon King. Linger had no objection. She had already fused with the dragon god's heart, and her bloodline was expected to evolve. Lin Xiao, I heard Master says you want me to fuse with that golden ancient tree? Han Shanshan asked softly. Stepmother, that's right, Lin Xiao replied. If you fuse with the golden ancient tree, it will become equivalent to your body. There's no need to refine it again. Later, I'll refine a transformation pill for you. The golden ancient tree's aptitude and bloodline are excellent. It won't disgrace you. Han Shanshan agreed. Then while you cultivate, I'll go and fuse with the tree. Yao Lao took Han Shanshan to the golden ancient tree to begin the fusion. Lin Xiao, these are the resources Life and I accumulated in the divine realm. You'll need them, so I'm giving them to you now. God King Destruction was remarkably generous, offering up the years of treasures he had painstakingly collected. Lin Xiao accepted without ceremony. By the way, Destruction, are there any heaven and earth treasures in the divine realm suitable for refining bodies? He was still planning to craft bodies for his two masters. The divine realm's materials were ideal. Hunting around in battle through the heavens could take who knew how long. Destruction's reply was blunt and simple. Plenty. Just go and rob them. That single sentence left Lin Xiao speechless. Chapter 241. The Medicine Master and Electrolux recover. Destruction, oh, Destruction, truly acted like one of them, ready to plunder at the slightest disagreement. Lin Xiao thought it over and realized it made sense. Who in the divine realm had the deepest foundations now? Naturally, those with the greatest strength. If there was plundering to be done, why not take it? They were not kin. A man does not become rich without windfalls. The ancients had not lied. Not a bad idea, Lin Xiao said. After I refine the Golden Dragon King's energy, I'll go reap a harvest. Destruction had no objections. All he wanted was to change his cultivation method to advance further and, with Life, perhaps have a child. So a new frenzy of cultivation swept through the undead world. Lin Xiao slowly refined the Golden Dragon King's energy, and he planned to use the power of the world to fuse his 6 flames into one greater flame. Emperor Yan, Xiaoyan, had his own unique fire. How could Lin Xiao stand aside? He arrived at the ice and fire yin-yang well and began refining the Golden Dragon King's essence. He also set about converting all his soul power into Do Qi. The great era was shifting, and he would shift with it. If he converted all his soul power into Do Qi while refining the Golden Dragon King's energy, he hardly dared imagine his potential. Lin Xiao began at the 6-star Do Huang level, in the ice and fire yin-yang theme. Well, he followed his plan. In the first year, he refined the Golden Dragon King's energy and rose to 9-star Do Huang. In the second year, he transformed his cultivation system, turning everything into Do Qi and advancing into the ranks of Dozong powerhouses. In the third year, aided by the world's power, he fused his 6 flames into a single super flame based on the Bone Spirit Child Fire, the Death Dragon Azure Frost Flame. After that, his strength reached the 4-star Dozong level. With that alone, confronting top-tier divine kings, Lin Xiao could already dispatch them with ease. Over those 3 years, the undead world also changed. Its vitality grew stronger. Across the Douluo Continent, cultivators adapted too. Apart from the untalented, many successfully converted their methods. The gods of destruction and life completed their transformations and reached 9-star Dozong. Aside from Lin Xiao and Gu Yuena, they were the strongest beings with physical bodies in the undead world. Han Shanshan also successfully fused with the golden ancient tree. The circle gathered around the ice and fire yin-yang, well, delighted by Lin Xiao's awakening. Xiao Xiaozi, 4-star Dozong, tsk, you've grown fast, Medicine Elder teased, leaning against the golden ancient tree with a cheerful smile. Teacher, without all of you, I wouldn't be here, Lin Xiao replied. And for my soul spirits and you, it's time you regained bodies. With his newfound strength, it was time to complete the final tasks. The god of destruction tossed out a map. These are the territories of several powerful figures in the divine realm. Lin Xiao took it. Medicine Elder and Electrolux warned with concern. When you go to the divine realm, be careful. If you can't defeat them, just return. Lin Xiao nodded calmly. Don't worry. With my current strength, I'll be unmatched in the divine realm. Gu Yuena rose slowly. I'll go with you. After fusing with the Golden Dragon King's bloodline, my lineage has reached Dragon God level. Over these 3 years, with the resources destruction and the others provided, I've also reached 9-star Dozong. It's time to take a stroll and let the divine realm know my dragon clan has returned. Lin Xiao agreed. Linger, the Snow Empress, Xiao Xiao and Zhang Lexuan had wanted to go, but their strength was insufficient, so they remained. At the Temple of Destruction in the divine realm, Lin Xiao and Gu Yuena appeared. Gu Yuena, how do you want to plunder? Lin Xiao asked bluntly. Gu Yuena snorted. The strong go to you, the weak to me. I want the divine realm to tremble under my dragon might. Lin Xiao smiled faintly. Fair enough. And so they set out to plunder the divine realm. Lin Xiao first reached Little Loser's territory. Without Xiaoling, everything had been divided among his subordinates. With the suppression of destruction and life gone, Li Yan and Ji Dong had become the strongest figures there. Everything had mostly returned to its original state. Lin Xiao observed, then sought them out. Of course, they held the most resources, and those were the prize. Li Yan, Ji Dong, 15 minutes to hand over all your resources, Lin Xiao said, hovering before their temple and not hiding his aura. To his surprise, the two capitulated immediately. Lin Xiao probed and found they truly gave everything. Consider yourselves sensible, he said, then left without delay. When Li Yan and Ji Dong surrendered, other powerful figures in the divine realm followed suit, offering their possessions one after another. Lin Xiao saw no need to haggle. If people were willing and smiling, it would be unreasonable to take more. They took what was due and left some for others. Gu Yuena cared even less. She personally asserted her dragon might and stripped entire realms bare wherever she passed. For a full week, the roar of dragons echoed across the divine realm as Gu Yuena ransacked everything she could. Lin Xiao did not idle either. The divine realm was vast, and treasures grew naturally, not only in the hands of gods. Lin Xiao searched for heaven and earth treasures and anything of value. When he saw something he could take, he stored it in the undead world. Natural landscapes, precious terrain, if they could be taken, he took them. The most important landscapes from across the divine realm were brought back to the undead world. A month later, Lin Xiao and Gu Yuena left the divine realm, both satisfied. Back in the undead world, Lin Xiao began crafting bodies, not only for Medicine Elder and Electrolux, but also for the soul spirits tucked inside his storage ring. Though his spirit rings had transformed into energy when he converted to Do Chi, their soul spirits still remained in the ring. He crafted bodies for Medicine Elder and Electrolux first, choosing youthful forms that matched his aesthetic. Han Shanshan, after fusing with the golden ancient tree, certainly wouldn't appear old. If Medicine Elder had an old body, it wouldn't fit. Bodies he made himself would not be ugly. In total, he made 10 bodies, the soul spirits plus the new bodies for Medicine Elder and Electrolux. It took him a full year to finish them all. Everyone, I hope you like these bodies, Lin Xiao said, placing the 10 bodies before the golden ancient tree and introducing them one by one. The Ice Empress frowned. Wait, Xiao Xiaozi, why is my body so short? Her body stood at 1.55 meters, and she looked bewildered. Lin Xiao grinned mischievously. Because I like it that way. The Ice Empress snorted. Humph, I don't. Change it now. Lin Xiao paid it no mind. This little girl was his preference. Lin Xiao, you jerk, she shouted, then pouted and dove into the body he had made for her. Everyone laughed, and one by one entered their new bodies. Snow Empress and Linger slipped up to Lin Xiao and whispered in his ear, You like them petite and delicate? Lin Xiao's expression shifted. He hurriedly explained, I like all of you. The two women pinched his waist and snorted in response. As they refined the bodies, the souls blended and control returned. Ha! Good lad. These bodies are not bad at all, the evil emperor laughed as he returned in his form. The sea princess admired her exquisitely made beauty, satisfied. The merfolk clan elder beside her was pleased too. Leah, seeing her mother restored, linked arms with her. Mother, why are you so beautiful? We look like sisters now. The deep-sea demon stingray inspected its form and was thoroughly satisfied. This was a huge gain. Medicine Elder and Electrolux exchanged glances. Brother Chen, with your current appearance, you truly are a brother now, Medicine Elder teased. You're not bad either. My judgment then was sound. Ha ha! Electrolux boasted happily. They finally had bodies. What about me? The plane consciousness called out, its voice streaming from the Douluo Continent. It looked at everyone with dissatisfaction. Medicine Elder smiled. Plain consciousness, you need to condense your own body. If it were crafted for you, it would affect your potential. We only had souls left. We had no choice but to use this method. Only then did the plain consciousness calm down. It still had to cultivate on its own. After Lin Xiao offered further reassurance, it brightened. Lin Xiao turned to Medicine Elder. Teacher, now that you have a body, you don't need me to refine the transformation pill for your wife, do you? Medicine Elder laughed heartily. Naturally, I will refine that transformation pill myself. Everyone laughed, savoring the rare moment of collective joy. Lin Xiao continued, half in jest, half in resolve. Most of the major tasks are done. Next, we need to develop the undead world, devour other worlds, and strengthen it. Our goal isn't only this Douluo universe, but also your world. He wanted to go to the Fighting Qi continent, to see Xiaoyan, examine the D clans, and make Hanfeng pay the price he deserved. He felt no mercy. With the strength of the two of us in Guyuena, we can subjugate smaller worlds and make them vassals of the undead world, Destruction suggested. Lin Xiao smiled and teased, Don't you two want a child? Both gods blushed. Destruction waved it off. No rush. According to Medicine Senior, we should focus on cultivation. Our attributes are pure already. Once our strength increases, we'll naturally be able to control the essence within our bodies. As for children, no hurry. Now that they could advance further, how could they not want to? If the undead world ascended, they would benefit too. Everyone smiled. Then the four of us will go subjugating worlds. You all focus on cultivating. When we reach the Fighting Qi continent, there will be plenty of opportunities. Everyone nodded and returned to cultivation. In the vast cosmos, Lin Xiao and the three stood in the void, probing the directions of worlds to set their course. Chapter 242, A New Beginning, the Grand Finale. Within the Douluo universe, Lin Xiao had appeared alongside three others. They were among the strongest from the undead world, and the development of that world depended on them. Lin Xiao, how do we search this vast universe? Destruction gazed into the boundless cosmos, a thrill of excitement stirring in him. He felt his strength might rise another level, as long as the undead world advanced. The world Rong Nianbing ascended from, the world Zhou Weiqing ascended from. Lin Xiao replied. There were many worlds in the Douluo universe, divine realms scattered here and there, eventually merging into the great divine circle. But none of that mattered now. In the future, there would only be one divine realm here, an existence beyond a divine realm, the undead. The four of them wandered through the universe for a long time before finally finding Zhou Weiqing's world. The Destruction God King suppressed that whole world single-handedly, while Lin Xiao absorbed energies from beyond, and the others supported him. To preserve the world's integrity, Lin Xiao even summoned the plane consciousness of the Douluo Continent to consume that world's consciousness. The Douluo plane consciousness was more than willing. After all, it would grow stronger. One world after another was absorbed. With the feedback from each conquest, the undead world's level continuously rose and the plane consciousness grew more powerful. 10 years later, Lin Xiao returned to the undead world. It had evolved to a level surpassing the Douluo divine realm. Deep within, stars twinkled, trophies, the worlds he had conquered. By Lin Xiao stood a knight. "Junior brother, is teacher really here? Is teacher truly still alive?" he asked, suppressing the turmoil in his heart. Lin Xiao chuckled. "Of course, it's just that teacher's soul was incomplete. I forged a new body for him. I believe his strength should have recovered by now." 3 figures approached. "Ha ha, Xiao Xiaozi, 10 years brat, you've finally returned." "Dozun, you've actually reached Dozun," Grandpa Yao exclaimed, astonished. Every time he left the world, he came back with surprises. Electrolux's gaze fell on the man beside Lin Xiao, surprised. Are you Hao Chen? Teacher? It really is you, teacher." The man ran to Electrolux, somewhat agitated. "Teacher, you're less stern than before." Electrolux laughed. "Ha ha, you brat. After all these years apart, you still tease your teacher." Long Haochen immediately knelt and kowtowed 3 times. "Your disciple didn't know of teacher's suffering and came too late." Electrolux smiled and helped him up. "You haven't changed. All right, get up. Everyone here is one of us." Electrolux introduced Long Haochen to the others, and Lin Xiao recounted his 10 years. "Teacher, how much has your strength recovered? I'm a 1-star Dozun, and I can't sense your power," Lin Xiao asked. Gu Yuena added, "Grandpa Yao, I'm at 5-star Dozun now, and I still can't gauge you." Destruction and Life chimed. "Senior, you're not at 9-star Dozun, are you?" Snow Empress, Linger, Xiao Xiao, Ice Empress, and Zhang Lexuan all looked on curiously. Electrolux chuckled. "Xiao Xiaozi, everyone, I'm a Dozun now." "Brother Chen has reached 9-star Dozun, but is stuck because of this world's limits," he explained. "If the undead world grows another step, Brother Chen can use the world's power to step into half-saint or even Do Sheng." Grandpa Yao stroked his beard, amused by his half-old, half-young appearance. "I never expected to reach this point either. When I was refining the transformation pill, I borrowed a little of the world's power. After Shanshan fused with the golden ancient tree, her strength rose dramatically. She truly became the life core of this world. With her help and the world's power, I managed to reach 9-star Dozun within these 10 years. As Electrolux said, the current maximum this world can support is 9-star Dozun." Lin Xiao considered this carefully. He had absorbed more than 10 worlds and yet was still stuck. It wasn't the world's fault. This universe itself imposed limits. It was time to head to the battle through the heavens world. Only there could he advance further. He hesitated, then addressed everyone. "Teacher, everyone, I think it's time to go to your world, teacher. In this universe, no matter how many more worlds I absorb to expand the undead world, it'll be tough to advance. The universe is like this." He hadn't wanted to leave before reaching Do Sheng here, but fate had other plans. He had to go now. Everyone paused. "So soon?" "Xiao Xiaozi, the best method is for you to refine this world into your body, using it to open a path to the Fighting Qi continent," Grandpa Yao suggested after a moment. "Don't worry. Over these 10 years, your teacher's wife and your other teachers have discussed this." He explained that the undead world had been built by Electrolux. With his assistance and their inside help, refining it into Lin Xiao's body shouldn't be too difficult. That 10,000-soul Douluo is still here. Electrolux has refined him into pure mental energy, which can advance your soul force another step. When the time comes for refinement, it will be easier. Lin Xiao had already thought of refining the undead world into his body, but hadn't worked out how. Now Grandpa Yao and the others had solved it. He had no reason to refuse. After 3 months of traveling through various worlds with Guyuena, Linger, Snow Empress, Xiao Xiao, Ice Empress, and Zhang Lexuan, Lin Xiao began refining the undead world from within. A world is powerful, and Lin Xiao's current strength was not yet the peak. Refining it into his body would take time he now had, with no enemies left in this universe to interfere. With everyone's help, the work went more smoothly than he'd expected. 3 years later, Lin Xiao completed the refinement. Inside the undead world, he was master. His strength there surpassed Grandpa Yao's. Outside, however, he was still only a dozun. After finishing, Lin Xiao immediately began searching for a passage to the battle through the heavens world. During his search, he fell into a black hole. The spatial compression and tearing brought unbearable pain. In his previous life, he had heard the saying, "Beyond the black hole lies the rainbow sea." Those who believe in miracles make miracles happen. This was his chance, but whether Rainbow Sea or greater danger lay beyond, he couldn't tell. Time blurred as he drifted through the black hole. The first one didn't lead to the Rainbow Sea or the Fighting Heaven world, nor did the second or third. Only after the fifth black hole did Lin Xiao arrive in the battle through the heavens world. "Finally, I found it," he panted, forcing open the barrier and charging into the Fighting Chi continent. The moment he entered, he returned to the undead world. "Teacher! Teacher! Everyone! I found it! I really found it!" His shout echoed across the undead world. Figures appeared. 50 years! 50 years! Xiao Xiaozi, is this true? Grandpa Yao slapped Lin Xiao's shoulder, emotion in his eyes. Over 50 years, many had ascended to higher worlds. The evil emperor's son, the White Bear King, and the Titan Snow Demon King from the far north, Li Jing. Almost all their loved ones had gathered in the undead world. Lin Xiao's arrival renewed their hope. 50 years had passed, and the strongest among them were capped at 9-star Dozun. Even Snow Empress, Linger, and Dubizi had reached Dozun. In the intervening years, the powerful, Grandpa Yao included, had roamed other worlds, living freely. Now Lin Xiao's return meant they could continue cultivating. The strongest roster, 9-star Dozun, Grandpa Yao, Han Shanshan, Electrolux, Guyuena, Destruction, Life. 4-star Dozun, Snow Empress, Dubuzi, Xiao Linger, Ice Empress. 9-star Dozong, Xiao Xiao, Zhang Lexuan, Long Aoqin. Lin Xiao's own strength had improved somewhat, but he stood at only 4-star Dozun. Linger and the others comforted him gently. "We're sorry you had to endure so much alone. From now on, we'll be with you." Lin Xiao smiled. It had all been for the people he loved. He didn't mind. He soothed everyone's worries and then, softly, said, "It's time for us to get married." The women flushed crimson. They wanted that too, but had been too embarrassed to bring it up after so long. Now that Lin Xiao had proposed, they had no reason to refuse. Xiao Linger, Snow Empress, Xiao Xiao, Ice Empress, Zhang Lexuan, Guyuena, 6 in total. Lin Xiao didn't want more. This was enough. It was time to give them an answer. The wedding was arranged by Grandpa Yao and Han Shanshan and proceeded smoothly. Grandpa Yao, Han Shanshan, Electrolux, and Dubuzi took the seats of honor as Lin Xiao and his companions bowed. Lin Xiao felt nothing improper. These were his teachers and his most respected elders. He had no parents. Grandpa Yao was like a father to him. The undead world rang with celebration for the next 3 months. Lin Xiao fulfilled his duties as a husband one by one, and his spirits were high. After a 3-month vacation, Lin Xiao, Grandpa Yao, and Han Shanshan left the undead world. Before departing, he called out, "Evil Emperor, take good care of Xiao Wu and the others' souls." On the Fighting Chi continent, in Wutan City at the Xiao family estate, an announcer cried out in surprise, "Xiao Yan, 9th stage Doji Chi." Lin Xiao and the others watched from the clouds. "Teacher, if not for me, this Xiao Yan would be your disciple," someone teased. Grandpa Yao stroked his beard. 9th stage Doji Chi, his talent is indeed good. He understood that if not for Lin Xiao, things might have been different. But if possible, taking him as a disciple might not be a bad idea, Grandpa Yao said with a thoughtful look. Lin Xiao smiled and shook his head. "Master, we can't take him openly. Now that you've recovered, if you want a disciple, it must be done in secret. The Hall of Souls is still watching, and the ancient clan is eyeing the Xiao family's ancient Tuoshi jade. Master, you're still a member of the Starfall Pavilion. If we openly offend those two forces with Dousheng existences, the Starfall Pavilion won't be able to protect us. Grandpa Yao nodded. Xiaoyan, even if declining, was still a descendant of an ancient clan. Xiao Xiaozi, what is this ancient Tuosh jade? He asked. Lin Xiao explained, the ancient Tuosh jade is the key to Dodi. Both the ancient clan and the Hall of Souls are searching for it. For now, we should go kill Han Feng first. Grandpa Yao took a deep breath. The key to Dodi, what a treasure. At his current level, he couldn't contend for it yet, but there was no hurry. Lin Xiao was here. Grandpa Yao believed that even without the jade, Lin Xiao could become a Dodi. In that case, let's head to the Black Corner region first, he said. The three figures in the clouds vanished, heading straight for the Black Corner region. P.S. The book ends here. I could continue the Battle Through the Heavens storyline, but this book's performance hasn't been strong, and this author has had a hard time lately, so this book bids farewell to everyone. Thank you to all the readers for your companionship and for reading this far. I am truly happy to have you. A new book is already written and will most likely be posted tomorrow. You can keep an eye out. New genre, new Tongsan challenges, new gang conflicts. Finally, I wish you all great fortune, good health, smooth relationships, and success in everything. Having you all has been wonderful. Thank you once again. Chapter 2 and 21, New Book. The author's new book, Douluo, I Swore Brotherhood with Jew and Ghost, Spreading Spirit Across the World. Jew and Ghost are truly pitiful, so the author put them at the center of the new story. It should please fans who like the Jew and Ghost Douluo. The cheat isn't overly broken. Twin spirits, one of which is the Spirit Transmission Tower, capable of attaching spirit rings to spirit masters. Sincerely inviting all esteemed readers to check it out and leave a review.